Good. All right. We're here with special guest H Money, one of the loyal listeners and one of the most vocal people in the chat. And he has a lot to say about Demetrius Andrade. And he has a lot of good points about Demetrius Andrade. And I agree with a lot of his points. Arguably, you could say that Demetrius Andrade is the best middleweight in the world. He's definitely in the top 3 or 4, without question, in my opinion. And I would pick him over a lot of these top 10 middleweights out there. And I think he would be a stylistic nightmare for Canelo Alvarez. And that's a fight that I would like to see. But whether or not we see that next is a big, big question mark, because we're hearing all types of crazy stuff about Alvarez going up to 175 to fight Sergey Kovalev, presumably. Let's see how this plays out. These negotiations with Golovkin are still ongoing, supposedly, and that fight's not a done deal. But H Money, let's talk about Saturday night, baby. What did you think of Saturday night's fight?
Thank you, Deej. Thank you so much, B, for having me on the show today, and I appreciate this opportunity. And I would like to say, Demetrius Andrade, he looked spectacular on Saturday. It was a world-class performance. He had a sold-out crowd, and he was in his hometown of Rhode Island, and everybody showed up. And he put on a performance to remember, scoring a first-round knockdown, hurting his opponent once again. This guy dominated the fight from round 1 to the end of the bell. This guy, he couldn't be hit. I mean, his opponent, Sulecki, could not hit him at all. He couldn't touch him. I mean, he showed off his great.
I don't know what happened here. It looks like H Money dropped off. I don't know what happened to H Money here. Let me see if I can get him back on. I'm going to have to tell him to come back on. I'm going to ask him to come back on. So let me just pick up where he left off. I did a live cast during the event. You guys saw it. Oh, he's back now. All right, go ahead. Pick it up where you left off. Go ahead.
I was saying how he dominated Sulecki. I mean, every round, it was a shutout. This guy looks so good, Beeb. I mean, and I can see why he is considered the best or the boogeyman. I mean, if you think about it, he has scored 5 knockdowns in 8 months and 1 knockout. So you have 5 knockdowns, 1 knockout in 8 months against top quality opponents. He was supposed to fight Billy Joe for that WBO world title. And Billy Ho Saunders, I would call him Billy Ho, because he took steroids. He did take steroids to fight Andrade and pulled out the fight. And I mean, Beeb, this is what he's doing to opponents, where they have to resort to taking PEDs to compete with him. That's how good he is. I mean, I can't think of another fighter that's saying his name right now, Beeb. I mean, he calls out Earl Spence Jr. He came with the facts that Mikey Garcia moved up 2 weight classes to fight Earl Spence and didn't complain. Demetrius Andrade, he told Earl Spence, why don't you do the same? Keep the same energy with somebody bigger than you. Earl Spence has never moved up in weight, Beeb. And he's almost 30 years old now, Earl Spence. Never moved up in weight like the great fighters. Like Floyd Mayweather criticized Triple G for not moving up in weight. What about Earl Spence? Killing himself to make 147, walking around at 200 pounds. And he doesn't want to move up and fight better competition in super fights with Canelo Alvarez. But he's clout chasing. I mean, Andrade is the man. I would say Andrade is a better fighter than Earl Spence, and a way better fighter than Char Ho, who took a loss to Tony Harrison and his brother, who struggled with an Uber driver in Brandon Adams last night. So I'm very disappointed in the Char Ho's Bums Only Promotions. You know what I mean? They haven't been impressing me. If you look at their last fights, Tony Harrison outboxed him, beat him with one punch. He beat Jermell Charlo with one punch, a single jab, and he couldn't get away from it and got beat a unanimous decision. So also, his brother struggled with Austin Trout. Both of the Charlos struggle with Austin Trout. They have problems with a fighter who has a good jab and can move around with great boxing skills. And that's what Demetrius Andrade has. So Demetrius Andrade been calling out Charlo for years. This has been going on for over 4 years, pulling up on him at the press conference after his win against Julian Williams. We can all YouTube it right now. Demetrius Andrade went to him, called him out. And what did Charlo do? He made a million excuses not to fight him. I mean, so we have to consider him a boogeyman. Also, Canelo, who's pound for pound #1 in the world, doesn't want to get in a ring with Demetrius Andrade. He won't even say his name, and he has the meats and peace to being undisputed. You know what I mean? Everybody put pressure on Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder for the undisputed match. What about the big fight between Demetrius Andrade and Canelo? That's a super fight. A Mexican versus a Black American, African American fighter, always big fights. Why we can't do it with Andrade and Canelo, who's on the same network on DAZN for all the belts? You feel me? Do you feel me, Beeb?
Yeah, and this is the thing. I'm gonna. Just got a super chat by Gem J here. It says hashtag Borderwoods. Thank you for the super chat. He says, let's look at the resumes at 160. But you made a great point, brother. How is he going to fight anybody if none of these guys want to fight him? He's been calling all these guys out. And if you're going to criticize his resume, why can't you criticize the Charlo's resumes? Who did Jamal Charlo fight? Big name at 160. Did Jamal Charlo fight? Name a big fight. Name a fighter at 160, a big name that Jamal Charlo fought. With all due respect to him, he's a good fighter too. But if you're going to dump on Andrade's resume, why can't you criticize Charlo's resume? Charlo's got the WBC middleweight title, and who did he beat to get that title? Okay, he got that title on default because Canelo was moved up to that franchise champion, whatever the hell you want to call it, whether you want to believe that that's legitimate or not. So if you're going to criticize Andrade's resume, you got to criticize Charlo's resume too, in my opinion.
Definitely. And Beeb, I mean, this guy is a great fighter. Throughout his whole career, Demetrius Andrade, he's undefeated, a 3-time world champion. I mean, what are the excuses for people not to fight him? He's a big name. He was on the front page of ESPN. I mean, this guy, he's a world-class fighter. You can look back at his amateur background with his victories over Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman even said it. Demetrius Andrade was the last person to give him an ass whooping. So Demetrius Andrade beat Daniel Jacobs in the amateurs. This guy, Sean Porter, speaks very highly of Demetrius Andrade. Sean Porter is actually sparring Demetrius Andrade, preparing for Earl Spence. So Earl Spence got a lot to think about. You know what I mean? Because Demetrius Andrade is going to have Sean Porter ready for this fight.
And who's to say that Demetrius Andrade can't do exactly what Erislandy Lara did? Because I thought Erislandy Lara beat Canelo. I really did. And I thought that the Golovkin fights, I had Golovkin winning both those fights. So, you could sit there and say, how's Andrade going to beat Canelo? But we've already seen the blueprint. We've already seen some weaknesses there. As good as Canelo is, we got to give him credit. And we could also give Canelo credit because these guys haven't dominated. There's only one guy that's ever really decisively dominated Canelo Alvarez, and that's Floyd Mayweather. None of these guys could really seal the deal. Like, I thought Lara won that fight 116 to 112, but there was swing rounds there. That fight could have arguably gone either way. The Golovkin second fight could have gone either way. I thought Golovkin won the first fight, but I only had him winning by 2 points. So the thing is this, no one's been able to seal the deal against Canelo. But Andrade has such a great defensive style, and he's just so disciplined in there. And he's also got that big size advantage, that height, that reach. Lara troubled Canelo with that southpaw stance and being able to fight on the outside and using the quick footwork on the outside. But keep in mind, Lara was only 5'9". Take what Lara did and wrap that around a 6'1" package with a totally different physicality, totally different dimensions, height, reach, and again, the southpaw stance, and a guy who could switch orthodox as well. Anyone who watches Andrade fight and sees how he just decisively beats everybody, he's never really been in a tough fight. He's won all the fights he's been in pretty clearly, and there's been really no controversy in his fights. You can say what you want about his resume. He's fought decent guys. He's fought pretty solid guys. He hasn't fought any upper echelon like elite guys yet. But again, he's tried to fight those guys. But if you give this guy the eye test, there's no question in my mind he doesn't give Canelo fits style-wise, along with his size. So I don't know what these people in the chat are talking about, but Canelo, no disrespect to him, but he's been in a lot of tough fights, bro. He's been in a lot of tough fights. So to sit there and say that Andrade wouldn't give him a tough fight too, that's ludicrous in my opinion. Totally ludicrous.
Yes, I actually got Andrade beating Canelo by points. You know, you made a tremendous point when you bring up Arislandi Lara outboxing Canelo for 12 rounds. You know, it was a close fight. It could have went either way, but Lara did give him a tough fight, you know, and when you think about it, Andrade is a southpaw, just like Lara, but 6'1", way taller. He's way stronger, way more punching power than a Lara. So, I mean, way more athletic, and he's younger. This guy will give Canelo fits. And that's why De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions, they're avoiding this fight. He's definitely avoiding this fight. And Andrade has the perfect style to beat him with his great techniques. And Beeb, once again, you make a tremendous point because Canelo has been in some very, very close fights. When you think about it, with Miguel Cotto, with Lara, with Triple G 2 times, you know, so, I mean, Andrade does have what it takes to beat him. And I will say, in my book, I will have Andrade outboxing Canelo, and that's why he's avoiding him.
Well, and here's the thing, too. Everyone's talking trash about Andrade's resume. Andrade already called out Golovkin, already called out Canelo. All three fighters are on DAZN now. So there's really no excuses. There's no network problems here. There's no conflict of interest here with promoters. So he called those guys out. Now, if they don't fight him, then it's on them. You can't criticize Andrade anymore. He's calling out the big names. And these guys have guaranteed contracts. They're going to make big money no matter who they fight. And I'm sure DAZN would love to put on an Andrade-Canelo fight if a Golovkin fight can't get made. So if a Golovkin fight can't get made, and we see Canelo fight Kovalev instead of Andrade, then we know what it is. We know what it is. Nobody can talk shit about Andrade anymore. We know what it is. And we got to call it the way we got to be real about it. We just got to be real about it, man. So if Andrade does not get the call next, then we know that we know he's a threat. We know he's a problem. I know he's a problem. You know he's a problem. But these people in the chat don't believe he's a problem. They need to wake up and get with the program here. In my opinion. So do you think that the Golovkin fight happens next, or do you think that the Kovalev fight happens next? How do you think this whole thing is going to play out? I don't know if I don't know if H Money's still there, man. Seems like he's cut out a little bit. I see him there, but I don't know if his mic is working. But that's the thing, man. You guys, we sit there and want to criticize resumes, but at the end of the day, you know, these guys like Canelo, these guys like Golovkin been saying for years he wanted to unify, but he never fought Billy Joe Saunders. And it comes out from Abel Sanchez. I don't know how true this is, but Abel Sanchez said that he told Golovkin, he said to Golovkin, don't ever fight this guy, Billy Joe Saunders. So you're not going to sit there and tell me certain fighters don't match up well against other fighters, and for that very reason, they avoid that fighter. Not because they're afraid, but obviously because it's too little risk, or too great a risk, I should say, for too little reward. And you can't sit there and tell me that that's not how guys like Billy Joe Saunders and Demetrius Andrade, who have great boxing ability and can make it really tough for opponents who want to try to get in slugfest. These guys can fight off the back foot all day and not get touched. You're not going to sit there and tell me guys like Golovkin and Canelo aren't going to try to avoid those guys as long as they can, because there's other big money fights out there that are easier or more favorable style matchups for them. You're not going to sit there and tell me that. You're not going to sit there and tell me that. Jump back on H Money. Kick back what you were saying, bro.
Well, hold on 1 second, bro.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm back on.
Yeah, you good.
Okay. Yeah, man, I'm sorry about that, man. But like I was saying, Andrade is very, very great, man. And we definitely got to give Eddie Hearn some credit, Beeb.
No question. No, yeah, I got you.
We got to give Eddie Hearn credit.
As much as I criticize Eddie Hearn, I got to give him credit for one thing. Andrade wasn't making money with anybody else. Andrade wasn't getting fights with anybody else. Demetrius Andrade fought 3 times this year already. 3 times. He was never fighting 3 times a year before with other promoters. So I give credit where credit is due. Eddie Hearn has done some great things for Demetrius Andrade without question.
Yes, he definitely did, man. When he was younger, I mean, he fought on HBO, he fought on Showtime, he fought on ESPN, he fought everywhere. But Eddie Hearn was the one that made him, I would say now, a star. I would say Demetrius Andrade has a bigger name than Charlo at this very moment, and a better resume, being a 3-time world champion, getting more money, being more active. You know what I mean? This guy's more active. That means he's making way more money than Charlo, and he's putting on better performances, knocking down his opponents, getting stoppages in his last fight. I mean, this guy is awesome. I definitely would say he's an American star. And I feel like, Beeb, we should take him to the next level. And I think you can help Demetrius Andrade become a star, a household name, rather than a Charlo. Why not Demetrius Andrade being an American star over Charlo? He has more skills.
I got you. That's true, man. He's got a more versatile game than everybody because he can do it all. He can box from the inside. He can box on the outside. He can move. He could sit down and punch with you if he has to. He's strong. He's a counter puncher. He's a southpaw. He's got solid defense. There's really not too many weaknesses in the guy's game, man.
Yeah, and he can also switch styles. He could go southpaw or he can go traditional, and he can easily outbox anybody with either style. I mean, Beeb, if I could mention one fighter in history that he reminds me of, just in a way, you know, because he was so avoided, I would say Ronald Winky Wright.
Good
because
one.
Yes, he was undisputed. Nobody wanted to fight him. He got a chance against who is it? Shane Mosley. He became undisputed. So I would definitely compare him to a Hall of Famer in Winky Wright. Once he gets his opportunity, Beeb, he's going to take advantage and he's going to show out. These people they're trying to freeze him out, but they can't. You can't do that on the zone. And Eddie Hearn is such a great promoter. He won't allow that to happen. So we can expect them to be in big fights very soon.
And the thing is this, he may not have the big names on his resume yet, but we have to take a look at this guy and just give him the eye test. And we have to at least agree upon this. Anyone, whether you're a fan of Andrade or not, we gotta at least acknowledge the guy is skilled and he does what he's supposed to do in there, and that's win. And he wins decisively and he wins clearly. So just because you may not like the guy's style, you may not like him, you got to admit that the guy's very skillful. The guy does what he has to do. And he's going to be a problem for anybody. If he's fighting any other middleweight out there and you don't think that he has a chance to beat any middleweight out there, and you're giving him no shot to beat Golovkin, you're giving him no shot to beat Canelo, then I think you're sorely mistaken to have that opinion, because all you got to do is just look at these other guys and just see how they have problems with certain styles and certain fighters. And you can't sit there and tell me that Andrade cannot do what other fighters have done to them, and probably even more, to even a higher degree. If Lara could outbox, I thought it was a clear victory for Lara, in my opinion. Other people thought it could have gone either way. I scored the fight 116 to 112 for Lara. If you don't think that Andrade can do the same thing, now people are going to say, well, Canelo's better now. Yeah, but Canelo also has a knee brace on now. Canelo also is heavier now. So Canelo's like fighting different now. I don't think Canelo ever really had exceptional footwork, but now that he's wearing a knee brace, now he's doing less road work now. He's still fading in the second half of fights. Now, here's the thing. That Jacobs fight was really close. I had that fight a draw. All three judges had it 115 and 113 for Canelo. Now, let me tell you this. If he fights like that against Andrade, you guys don't think that Andrade could eke out a victory there? If Jacobs could win 5 of the last 6 rounds against Canelo, what do you think Andrade's going to do? What do you think Andrade's going to do? And again, you can't tell me that knee is not going to be an issue moving forward. You can't tell me that that's not going to hinder him doing the proper road work. It's going to have an effect, I think, in my opinion, on his stamina. And if he fades against a guy like Andrade, who knows how to bank the early rounds, he's not going to start off slow like Jacobs. All he has to do is win 2 or 3 of those early rounds. And then if Canelo fades like he normally does in the second half, then it's going to be hard to take the fight away from Andrade. Now, obviously, we have to worry about the judging in all Canelo fights. But again, you have to ask yourself what's going on with Canelo's knee, what's going on with Canelo still fading in the second half of every fight. Those are issues.
Yes.
Those are issues.
Yes. And I want to say another southpaw that Canelo did have trouble with, even though he won, Austin Trout. The southpaw gave him some problems in that match. He won a lot of rounds in that fight, and Canelo definitely sometimes run out of gas. So when Canelo fights a pure boxer, he has some trouble with Lara, Miguel Cotto, and Austin Trout. That's all I had to say about that, man. You are right about that. You definitely got a point.
Benji said he beat Trout easily. No, there's no way he beat Trout easily. That was a close fight, and most people thought Lara beat Canelo. Most people had Lara winning that fight. Stop it.
I mean, he did. He scored a knockdown against Austin Trout. He dropped him. But what about all those other rounds that Austin Trout was landing a jab on him, scoring points? So
there were rounds when Canelo was doing nothing, and Trout was just outlanding him. Trout outworked Canelo in a lot of those early rounds. He didn't beat him easily. That's bullshit. That's your opinion. There's no way, Benji, that he beat Trout easily. There's no way. For a great part of those rounds, he wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, and Andrade is a 10 times better fighter than Austin Trout. I call him Austin No Clout Trout. So I feel like man, Andrade, man, he is the boogeyman in my eyes right now. He called out every top middleweight. And I mean, he called out Charlo, called out both of the Charlos. None of the Charlos want to fight him. They never say his name. Okay, he always calling them out. I mean, what's the issue? Charlo, he has the WBC belt now. Why doesn't he come to the zone where all the belts are at, the biggest paydays? Why doesn't he come and fight? Why is he making excuses, staying on an island all by himself where he can just clout chase? I'm not a fan of Charlo, Beeb. I'm definitely not a fan of Charlo at all.
Well, the jury's still out on Charlo. He's been in some tough fights with Korobov. He's been in some tough fight with Trout. So the door is still open on him, man. Book is still open on him. We don't know. A lot of people think he's the heir apparent. They think he's the man at 160. I'm not so sure. And I got another question. Why when people fight Canelo, jabs don't count? Like Triple G landed a a ton of jabs on Canelo on both fights. Lara landed a ton of jabs on Canelo. So did friggin' Trout. And if I'm not a big punch stat guy, but I do have eyes. And I could see that those guys were landing tons. I mean, is a jab worth more than a power punch? Probably not. But if a guy's landed 10 jabs and another guy's only landing 2 power shots, and the guy that's landing the power shots is not knocking the guy down and not staggering him or buckling him, then obviously the 10 jabs is going to be worth than the 2 power punches. So why, when they fight Canelo, why do they want to know? And that's my only problem when Andrade does fight Canelo. Will he get credit for outworking Canelo, or will they give Canelo rounds just for moving forward like they did against Lara? That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Yeah, B, but we definitely got to get one of Demetrius Andrade's teams on the show. We got to get his team on the show, his trainer or himself. I'm pretty sure you can make it happen. This guy is very talented, and he's not getting the credit that he deserves. But I feel like the world is starting to see how good he really is, and it feels like if we took a poll on who is better between Charlo and Demetrius Andrade, I'm pretty sure Andrade will win that poll decisively.
Well, they took a poll on who people wanted Canelo to fight next, and most people want to see him fight Andrade next. The poll, like 47 to 50% of the people wanted to see him fight, Andrade next. I'm not so sure anyone really cares about a third Golovkin fight. We already seen that twice. So
that's the fight. That's actually the fight to make. But will it happen? Will Canelo take the fight? I don't think he'll take the fight. I think he'll duck him.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to fight Andrade. And here's the thing now. Like Andrade's got the other piece of the puzzle there. He's got the other belt. So why not unify? Like, why is it when Billy Joe Saunders and Andrade had to have the WBO title? Because they have a style that fighters can't really deal with. They have an unfavorable style. They have a tricky style. They have a style that makes people look bad. So now, why did they never get the opportunity to be in a unification fight? Why didn't Billy Joe Saunders ever fight Golovkin? And why now can't Andrade fight Golovkin or Canelo? Why? You guys are going to sit there and talk shit about Andrade. So if he's so bad, then why don't Canelo and Golovkin step up to the plate and beat him easy then? If his resume's trash, if Andrade's trash, then why are the other guys fighting him then? He's got a belt. He's on the zone like them. What's the excuse? He's on the zone. He's got a belt. And they already got guaranteed contracts, so the money's already set for them. So why won't they fight him then? Let's see if Golovkin or Canelo steps up next fight.
They know. They know.
So Benji, he's a nobody. He's a nobody. But no, nobody. I sound like myself. This is my opinion. Don't clout chase. Don't name drop. Don't clout chase. Don't name drop in the chat. The guy has the WBO title. He's a DAZN fighter like them. He's got a big-time promoter behind him, Eddie Hearn. Let's call it for what it is. He's got a style that is not going to make either guy look good. So stop with the bullshit. That's what you guys do when you want to protect your heroes. When you want to protect your heroes. When you want to protect your fucking money fighters. You want to protect Golovkin. You want to protect Canelo. And you wanted to protect AJ, but you couldn't save him. You couldn't save him from fucking Andy Ruiz, though, could you? You wanted to protect all these. You couldn't save him for Andrew Ruiz, though, could you? You fucking dick riders. You fucking dick riders. You couldn't save him. So now you want to save your boy Canelo. You want to save your boy Golovkin from looking bad, from fucking not being able to fucking hit their opponent. You don't want to see them chase Andrade around the ring all fight, not being able to hit him with a handful of rice in the ass. Now he's a nobody. Yeah, he's really a nobody. He's the fucking WBO champion. So why not unify the titles? He's a nobody.
3-time world champion, Beeb. 3-time world champion.
They got guaranteed money. They can fight me and make fucking $15, $20 million. So there's no risk for reward. Canelo and Golovkin have guaranteed contracts. Okay, they got guaranteed contracts, so they can't use the excuse that, oh, why am I going to fight fucking Andrade for less money than I'm going to fight somebody else? They got guaranteed contracts. They're going to get paid. They're going to get paid big money no matter who the fuck they fight.
And Beeb, I just want to say something about his resume. People question his resume, but when he beat Veins, are you familiar with Veins Matrosian? Is that his name, Matrosian?
Vanes Matarosian.
Yes. Demetrius Andrade was the first person to beat him. When he was undefeated, who was the first person to beat him? Demetrius Andrade gave him his first loss.
That's right.
Alantez Fox, who's a 6'1". How tall is he? 6'5"? Middleweight.
Yep.
Gave him his first loss. Outboxed him on HBO. Made him look silly. And Sulecki. Who was the one that dropped Sulecki? Who beat him? Who beat him decisively? That was definitely Andrade, a former Daniel Jacobs opponent. Daniel Jacobs struggled with Sulecki, and Demetrius Andrade won every round.
Well, again, these guys are fanboys in the chat. They want to protect. They want to say that Andrade's a nobody. So it's not about now. It's about if you have a big name. It's not about how good you are anymore.
Yeah, but the truth.
So these guys want fighters to be divas now. Let's be divas. Let's only fight. The fights that are going to make us look good. That's all.
But you know what? You can't do that on the zone. They're going to make the biggest fights happen. And Eddie Hearn, he's going to make it happen.
Benji just said the most ridiculous thing in the chat. This is how you know people don't know anything about boxing. This is how you know people don't know anything about boxing. You got casual fans in the chat. So all I'm saying, if Andrade really wants that work, get yourself in a mandatory position. You hype boys ain't making it happen. How is he going to get himself a mandatory position when he's the fucking champion at WBO? How is he going to get himself a mandatory position? How do you get a mandatory position when you're going for a unification fight? So that's like saying, why didn't Deontay Wilder get a mandatory position to fight Anthony Joshua? Why didn't Anthony Joshua get a mandatory position to fight Deontay Wilder? It's a unification fight. Do you know how it works? How the fuck is he going to put himself in a mandatory? What are you talking about? Is Kovalev a mandatory? Why the fuck is he going to fight Kovalev? The reason why he's going to fight Kovalev is because Kovalev's fucking 35 and he's on the downslide. Why do you think he fought Golovkin? Because Golovkin was fucking 35, 36, going on 37 on the downside. Fight a fucking guy in his prime. Fight a fucking guy in his prime. Don't fight fucking Amir Khan. Don't fight fucking Amir Khan, who's fucking 2 weight classes less than you. Don't fight a fucking guy in Golovkin that's almost fucking 40 years old that you know slowed down. Don't fight a fucking guy like Kovalev who's on the downside. If you don't know what the fuck's happening right now, then you're foolish. Then you're fucking lying to yourselves, guys. Fight a guy in his prime.
Beeb, the truth is starting to come out. You know what I mean?
Fight a guy in his prime. Fight a guy in his prime.
Hey,
go ahead, man.
Hey, Beeb, you can't hide the truth. You know what I mean? The truth is starting to come out.
This guy just said Andrade needs to put himself in a mandatory position. He's a fucking champion. He's not. When you're a champion, you're not ranked anymore. You can't be a mandatory when you're a champion. Yes, Kovalev's a champion at 175. Absolutely. Everyone knows that. He's got the W. Again, don't you watch the sport? You're asking questions like, isn't Kovalev a champ at 175? Who are these people in the chat, bro?
They're just fanboys, but I just want to say.
Who are these people in the chat? They don't watch boxing? He's a WBO champion.
Babe, you can hear me, can't you?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I was just saying, man, the truth is definitely starting to come out. And it's sad to see Canelo choose to duck Demetrius Andrade, who is the best middleweight in the world, the most skillful fighter in the middleweight division. And both of these guys are ducking. Triple G and Canelo are ducking him. But you can run, but you can't hide. And Eddie Hearn, he already said Andrade will beat Canelo. I mean, a lot of people think he'll beat him. Canelo, he won't keep the same energy with him. That same energy he got with Kovalev, the same energy they got with Callum Smith. What's up with Demetrius Andrade for the undisputed match, the biggest possible fight? on the zone. We should make it happen.
That's right. That's right. That's right. H Money, you speak the truth, brother. I mean, you brought the heat today, brother.
Yeah, definitely. And
You brought the facts, man. I can't disagree with much. I can't disagree with much of anything you said today, brother. I'm just being real with you.
but you know what? I just want to tell you, man, I applaud you and I thank you for speaking the truth about Demetrius Andrade, helping him go to that next level. Because I mean, the truth is starting to come out. You're bringing the truth, and he's starting to blow up on the scene, man. This guy is becoming big now, and I'm happy for him, bro, because he got it the hard way. I mean, nobody gave him a chance. The Charlo said he was broke. You know, we ain't gonna fight you. Nobody knows you. But now he's bigger than them, and he's linked to Canelo, the cash cow, and he's linked to Triple G, the second cash cow in boxing. He's linked to the biggest names in boxing, and they can't deny him. And his time is coming very soon.
John just said, I still remember when Beeb said Cotto would beat Canelo. Fight Doctor was right. Beeb Indices is bankrupt. So if you go back and what's wrong with saying Cotto would beat Canelo? What's wrong with that? That fight was close, you know. That fight was like 115, 113 for Canelo. So now all of a sudden Cotto's not a good fighter. Like I don't understand what that point is. Like, what does that mean? So every time you pick a fighter, that means that you're always going to be right. Like, that's so corny. Just because, like, when you go back and say, oh, so and so picked this guy and he was wrong. So what? Look how many times I'm right. What about when Cotto beat fucking Martinez when everyone said that Martinez was going to destroy him? What about that when I got the big 4-1 odds on that one? Who did you pick in that fight, John 316? So now my opinion is trash because I picked Cotto. I'm not ashamed of picking Cotto. Like, you guys think Canelo's like this god, dude. Like, that fight was competitive, bro. What do you think, he washed? You think Cotto got washed in that fight? And once again, Cotto was out of his prime too. Fight a prime Cotto. Fight a prime Cotto. For Christ's sakes.
Yeah, Cotto gave him fits in that fight. He definitely stormed out the ring. He stormed out the ring.
That fight was close. I thought he beat Cotto too, but I had to fight 115 to 113. He didn't wash Cotto. Like that was a stupid. I'm not afraid. Fight Doctor. It don't matter. It don't matter. I make more money than you guys make. You know why? Because I fucking bet. You guys just make picks. You guys just make picks. I picked Manny Pacquiao over fucking. I picked fucking. What's his name there? Timothy Bradley over Manny Pacquiao. I got 10-1 odds there. I picked Tyson Fury over Vladimir Klitschko. I got 4-1 odds there. When I win, I'm fucking making. I'm fucking like doubling, tripling, quadrupling up. You guys bet the chalk and you're picking 10-1 favorites and you jerking off thinking, hey man, I'm fucking the shit. I pick fucking 4-1 favorites, 10-1 favorites, 5-1 favorites. I get paid. I get paid triple, quadruple, 5 times when you guys get paid once. That's bullshit, man. Like you guys, like if you bet every week, you make picks every week and you pick boxing, you guys, everyone's gonna be wrong about 50% of the time. Don't matter if you're wrong. The thing is when you win, can you double up? Can you triple up? Can you quadruple up? That's what I do. That's what I do. That's the thing. I'm not ashamed, but so because you get a pick wrong, you can't have an opinion about other fights? What's that mean? What's that mean? So what? Like, you guys think Canelo's a god? Like, he's invincible? Come on, man. He lost. Most people thought he lost both Golovkin fights. Most people thought he lost the Lara fight.
Yeah, he took steroids too in that first fight. He got caught for the PEDs. He got popped.
You guys like act like Canelo's like a Floyd Mayweather and shit.
What about the steroids?
Why didn't Lara get a rematch? Yeah, why didn't Lara ever get a rematch? Why didn't Lara ever get a rematch? That's what I want to know.
The fanboys. I just want to ask the fanboys, what about Canelo popping for steroids? What about that? Just blow it under the rug, huh? Just forget about that. That he's not a clean fighter, right?
I mean, Canelo Alvarez is the money man in the sport.
He is.
Let's just call it. We'll call it like it is. There's no question about that. So you're not going to sit there and tell me because he's got that money that he's the money man in the sport. You're not going to sit there and tell me that he ain't getting favorable treatment. Whether or not who picked you want to go back fucking 5 years and talk about Cotto Canelo. What the fuck does that have to do with Demetrius Andrade not getting a shot? What the fuck does that have to do with Demetrius Andrade having the WBO title and nobody and someone else having all the other titles and the other guy not wanting to unify? What happened to that?
No excuses.
What happened to that? When you guys have to change the subject, you guys have to deflect.
They know what's going on. They know what's going on. They just don't want to. They don't want to face the facts. Their favorite fighter is ducking Demetrius Andrade.
So let them fight somebody then. Nobody fights anybody till they fight somebody. So what's that? So because Andrade hasn't fought anyone that, in your opinion, Benji. So is that going to be his excuse? Is that going to be their excuse to never fight him then? Of course he needs to fight Canelo a Triple G. Why not? Here we go with the duck game again. How did Andre duck Charlo? How? When was that fight ever proposed?
I mean, Andrade pulled up on him and called him out for the fights. I got the footage. I got the footage of Andrade.
Benji's afraid for Canelo to have to fight Andre because he doesn't want Canelo to lose.
And Charlo's not.
Why would you protect? Why would you like these guys like Benji's like he was afraid for Joshua to fight? Why do you protect? Why do you want to protect your favorite fighters? It's like corny. It's corny. You guys are corny. You don't want like you're afraid for Canelo to fight Andre.
But Beeb, Charlo doesn't want to come to the zone where all the belts are at, where all the home of the middleweights. He's fine with fighting Uber drivers and Brandon Adams. Brandon Adams, who've been knocked out before by a bum, who've been knocked out.
Look what Benji just said. He said Andre backed out of a fight with Charlo in 2014.
He's making up stories.
So this guy's even if that was true, that was 5 years ago. The guy's the WBO middleweight champion, and he fights on the zone where Canelo fights, where fucking Golovkin fights. What's the excuse? Get the last piece of the puzzle. Unify the titles.
Charlo's a bum. Bro.
So let me ask you this: is it considered a duck when you're negotiating with somebody and they give you a lowball offer and you turn it down? Is that considered a duck? Is that really considered a duck when you're negotiating with somebody and you can't come to terms? That's a duck? That's fucking corny, bro. You are making it up. You are making it up. You are making it up, Benji. You're a fanboy, bro. You don't like fucking Andre. That's what it is. You don't like him. You don't like his style. You don't like how he fights. But you know that he's a problem. But you're afraid for your boy Canelo. So you want to keep Canelo away from him, like Benji. Are you going to get a piece of Canelo's purse? Oh, why should he fight him? There's bigger money fights out there. Why do you want him to fight bigger money fights? Like, are you his manager? Are you invested in him? Come on, bro. You're a fanager. Yeah, why didn't he fight Charlo? Why? Why didn't he fight Charlo? Because they couldn't agree to terms. Then why are you protecting him? Why are you protecting him then? Why don't you want to see Canelo fight Andre? You don't think Andre beats Golovkin right now? Come on.
He'll outbox him easily.
I mean, come on, man.
That's the fighter that nobody wants to fight right now. So he should be considered the boogeyman. Definitely, I got him as my best middleweight in the world, Beeb. It was definitely a pleasure doing the show with you. Hopefully, we can do another episode.
The Gem G just goes, come on, bro. You know boxing is about money. If you think otherwise, you're lying. Okay. Again, pay attention. Pay a fucking attention. Golovkin has a $365 million guaranteed fucking contract. Canelo does. Golovkin has a $100 million guaranteed contract. These guys are getting paid no matter who the fuck they fight. So if they fight Andrade, they're still getting paid. It's not like they're going to get shortchanged to fight Andrade. There's no fucking excuse. Stop sucking Canelo's dick. Stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. Anyone defending Canelo not fighting fucking Andrade next, or at least fighting him in the near future, is a fucking fanboy. You're a fanboy. You're a fucking fanboy if you don't want to see if you don't want to see Canelo fight Andrade. If you don't want to see Canelo fight Andrade, you're a fucking fanboy.
I don't want to see him duck him, man. I don't want to see the Canelo pull off this duck.
I'm not blowing Andrade. You know what I'm blowing? I'm blowing good fights. I'll suck good fights dicks. If it's a good fight, then I'll suck the fucking good fights dicks. I don't care about the individual fighters. I want to see a good fight. I'm not caring about blowing Andrade. I'm caring about blowing good fights. That's what I want. I want good fights. I want
unification. We want unification.
I want a unification fight. I want a fucking unification fight at 160. That's what I want.
Undisputed. That undisputed match for all the belts, for all the marbles.
Just like I wanted Golovkin to fight Billy Joe Saunders. Like he lied and said he wanted to fight, he wanted to unify when he never wanted to unify.
Just how we wanted Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder for the undisputed match. The same thing.
Who wants to see fucking Canelo fight Kovalev now? Now that Kovalev's fucking way out of his prime and been knocked out a few times already. He's got a shit ton of miles on him. So you think Canelo fighting Kovalev is a tougher fight than Canelo fighting fucking Andrade right now, a guy who's in his prime? Anyone in this chat thinks that? What's a tougher fight on paper? What's a tougher fight on paper? Canelo versus fucking Kovalev or Canelo versus Andrade? What's a tougher fight for him?
Andrade. Definitely okay. Demetrius.
Okay. Yeah, but you're lying to yourself, Benji. You're lying to yourself. You know Andrade is a tough style matchup for Canelo, and you know that it's probably his toughest test right now at middleweight. You already know that. Style-wise, it's a nightmare for Canelo. You know that, and you're lying to yourself. Billy Joe Saunders would have been a nightmare for Canelo. It's no secret they never fought. Kovalev is a guy that's going to stand right there for Canelo. He can't fight inside. Canelo's going to rip the shit out of his body. He won't fight an Andrade who's not going to stand there, who he won't be able to touch. We already know what it is. So then why are you saying that Andrade shouldn't fight Canelo then? Why? Why do you don't want to see Canelo fight someone in their prime? I didn't say he was ducking him. I said he should fight him next. There's no reason for him not to fight him. You guys are just fanboys. I can't argue with fanboys. You don't want to see a good fight because you don't want Canelo to lose. That's all. Andrade should be the next fight. It should be Andrade.
Right away, straight up. They should be Andrade.
Benji says, I'm saying Canelo should do what he wants to do. Of course he's going to do what he wants to do. But this is an opinion show. And we're talking about what the best fights would be. I want the best fight. I want to see fucking Andrade versus Canelo. I think that's the most intriguing matchup. And you're sitting there saying you don't want to see it because you're afraid Canelo's going to lose. You want to see Canelo make big money. You're concerned about Canelo's bank account. You're a fan. You're a fanboy. You're a fanboy. Why not unify? Go down in history and unify like Bernard Hopkins did.
Undisputed. Beeb is undisputed.
Be undisputed.
That's what you fight for. That's the whole purpose of being a champion, is being undisputed.
So Benji would rather see him go up to 175, fight a guy like Kovalev, fight a guy like Kovalev, and basically in a meaningless fight, the guy that's way past his prime.
Yeah,
This
a guy
guy,
who just been knocked out. He just been
yeah.
knocked out by Eddie Alvarez.
Ben G, you're a Canelo fanboy because you're defending him. If you don't want him to fight Andre, then you're a fanboy because you think he's going to lose to Andre. It's the most competitive fight at middleweight for him right now, without question.
It's the best fight. It's the biggest fight in boxing. For undisputed middleweight championship, it'll be the biggest fight you can make.
That's right.
Eddie Hearn is going to make it happen, Beeb. Eddie Hearn is definitely the best promoter in the game. And Eddie Hearn has been putting pressure on Oscar De La Hoya all week. They've been going back and forth. Eddie Hearn told De La Hoya that the Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua rematch will be made before the trilogy of Triple G and Canelo. So Eddie Hearn is putting him on the hot seat.
Benji, I don't use the word duck. I'm not going to criticize Canelo and insult him for not fighting Andre, but I will be honest about it. It's a style matchup that does not favor him. It's not a good stylistic matchup for Canelo. We have to agree on that. If you don't agree on that, you're lying. You're lying. You already know stylistically Andre presents the toughest test for Canelo. That's all I'm saying. So they're going to avoid the fight because they feel as though there are easier fights out there for probably more money or the same money. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
And one more thing, Charlo will definitely be a way easier fight for Canelo than Demetrius Andrade. You know, that's an easier fight. He's the toughest fight for Canelo or Triple G. He's the toughest fight for anybody.
And then what's his name? Jem says, what, based on Lara, who he fought 10 fights ago? Yeah. Yeah, because again, he never fought another style like that. And this is going to be another style like that.
But better, even better, younger, faster.
Even better. Listen, Jacobs fucking lost that fight by fucking that fight 7-5. That was a close fight. That was a fucking close fight. So, like, why do you think that like Canelo would be such a decisive favorite over Andre if he just squeaked by fighting Jacobs? I don't understand that. He squeaked by in both Golovkin fights, and he squeaked by in the Jacobs fight. So now all of a sudden he's going to fight Andre, and Andre is going to get washed? Based off of what? Based off of what? It's ridiculous. If you want to be a fanboy, be a fanboy. Just say if you guys say if you guys say in the chat, hey, you know what? I'm just a fanboy. Then I'll accept it. Just admit you're a fanboy. That's all. Go ahead, H Money. Close us out here, man. Give us some final thoughts here, brother.
Well, like I was saying, Demetrius Andrade is the best middleweight in the world. He has the most skills. Beeb, he has the skills to pay the bills. And Eddie Hearn has made him a star. And definitely got him ranked above Charlo. The Charles Ho sisters. Okay, and Bums Only Promotions, the clout chasers who's ducking all the smoke.
Oh, he cut out again. My man H Money has a bad internet connection today. Let me see if I can get him back on so we can close this out. Hopefully he can try. Hopefully he can. That's okay, Brandon White. I mean, like I said, I'm not enemies with anybody, man. We had I'm not going to tell him who he can be cool with and who he can't be cool with. That has nothing to do with me, man. He could still be cool with me and be cool with the other guy. I have no problem with the other guy. You guys don't understand one thing, man. You guys think what happened with the other guy was personal. It wasn't personal. It was business. It was business. And that shit was like fucking 4 years ago, bro. That shit's gone, man. It's gone. So it has nothing to do with like you guys keep bringing it up like I don't know, man. It's just weird how you guys keep bringing shit like. It's funny how you still attach me to that shit when that shit's been like fucking. That shit been like so long ago. And I've already been asked like 10 times to go back on that show. You don't even know what goes on behind the scenes, but I'm doing my own thing, bro. I can go back on that show tomorrow if I wanted to. I've been asked several times. I've been asked numerous times to go back on that show. But I like my show. I mean, shit happens, man. People grow. People grow. But H Money, he dropped off. I don't know if he's going to jump back on. I'll give him a couple more minutes. And if he doesn't jump back on, I'm going to close out in a little bit. But yeah, man, I mean, this isn't about me hating Canelo. This hasn't been about me hating Canelo or anything like that. I mean, this is just about me posing the question. Is Andrade the toughest test out there? Is he the best? Can he make a claim to being the best middleweight in the world? Now, I will give everybody this. Based off a resume, Canelo by far probably, I think Canelo has the best resume in the sport of boxing right now. I speak facts. I speak facts. You know, I speak facts. I think Canelo's got the best resume in the sport, but that doesn't necessarily mean he has the best skills in the sport. Is he a highly skilled fighter? Yes. But is he beatable? Absolutely. Canelo by far has the best resume, without question. But that doesn't necessarily mean that if he fights Andrade, he's going to win. I think Andrade presents a difficult style matchup for him, and I would say that I think Andrade would beat Canelo. Whether or not he would get the decision or not, I don't know. But I think if I was to watch a Canelo Andrade fight, and I was to score it objectively, I feel pretty confidently that at the end of the fight, I would have Andrade up at the end of that fight. In my opinion. That's just my opinion. I feel as though I'd have him up. Whether or not he'd get the decision or not, that's another question. But that doesn't mean I hate Canelo or anything like that. All that means is you got another guy in his prime. He's got the last piece of the puzzle, which is a WBO title belt. You already got $365 million. Now, do you want to unify or do you want to fight Kovalev or do you want to fight Golovkin again? Now, even though I think Andre would still be a tougher fight than either one of those other fights, it's still not 100% guaranteed that he beats Golovkin, and it's not 100% guaranteed that he beats Kovalev because he's going into uncharted territory. He's testing the waters at 175, a division he's never fought at before. Doesn't automatically mean he's just going to beat Kovalev. I would pick him to beat Kovalev. I would probably pick him to beat Golovkin in the rematch. But you never know. So there's always a risk no matter what he does next. There's always a risk no matter, what he has, what he's got going next. So it is what it is. I don't think Kovalev's a tougher fight than Andrade. I really don't. Not at this stage. Not at this stage. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. I don't think Kovalev's a tougher fight than Andrade. I think stylistically, Kovalev can't fight on the inside. Doesn't like getting hit on the body shots. And he doesn't have the quickness and the foot speed of Andrade. He can't switch southpaw. He's not as defensively sound as Andrade. It's a tougher fight on paper, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Kovalev can punch. That's right. That's true. I guess Kovalev brings his own set of problems that he can bring to the table for Canelo too. So I mean, all this is opinion. This is all opinion based. I could be wrong here, but I'm just stating my opinion. I'm just stating my opinion. I don't think he has limited power. Andrade can fight on the inside. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. He throws a short left uppercut on the inside very effectively. He goes to the body very well. He went to the body very well in the Sulecki fight. He could fight much better on the inside than Sergey Kovalev. And he has much better stamina too. I disagree, man. I disagree, Sean Newton. All right, doesn't look like H Money is going to come back here, but I want to thank H Money. I want to give him a shout out for joining me today. He wanted to do this. Oh, he's back. He's back.
Yo, B.
I waited for you, man. I waited for you. We get
All
ready.
right.
We get ready to close it out. Go ahead, finish up your closing statements, man, before we get out of here.
I want to thank you for the opportunity. I hope that showcased my skills and my boxing knowledge. And I just want to let you know I got a Sunday morning show talking about boxing. If I can get you on there one of these days, that'd definitely be an honor. I thank you so much. You are a boxing genius, a boxing guru. And I respect you. I respect your knowledge. And everybody does. Everybody in the chat, they always rave about your boxing knowledge. And it's just an honor for me to be on this show with you. And thank you so much for the opportunity, B. Thank you so much.
Hey, man, thank you for the kind words. And you know I'll be there on a Sunday for you, man.
I need that. TMG. It's called the Money Gang.
Okay.
It's TMG Boxing, the Money Gang. We need Beeb on there.
Okay. I'll be there. I'll be there.
Thank you, Beeb. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, man. Have a good day, man. Peace out. All right, everybody. I'm gonna wrap this up, and thank you all in the chat. And I'll make a promise to you. The Skype is very close because Eric bought a new mixer and he gave me his old mixer. So because I got this mixer now at Eric's mixer, I'm gonna be able to do Skype. And the goal for me is to be able to do Skype on these Hangouts. So when UK listeners listen to these Hangouts that I do by myself, we're gonna be able to have people Skype in. So we're gonna keep moving. All the super chats you give us go right back into the show. I'm gonna be buying another mic. I'm gonna be buying. I'm gonna be getting a better mixer in a couple months. So keep giving us those super chats. I mean, we're not gonna be mad if you don't give it to us, but all the super chats that you do give us go right back into the show. It's gonna make the show better for you guys in the long run because the new mixer's on board, new mics coming, and pretty soon we're gonna be out covering these events. So, any super chat money y'all can give us, we appreciate that. Make sure you check out Mega Fit Meals in the link. Support the channel. Buy a T-shirt. We got the link for the T-shirt in the description box as well. So make sure y'all click the links in the description box. Make sure you keep tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video. Share the video. And we are out, man. Thank you so much. And thank you all for the support. And we'll be back soon. Have a good day, man. Peace out.